In the face of the allegations of extortion leveled against me, I shall submit myself to every investigation.
So if a liar tells you to go to court, then it means that he knows the judge.
You may describe it as gold bond losses, but we see it as an innovative national fiscal monetary policy that is stabilizing our currency, that is making our economy stronger.
Abusia mamu kwaba ebiem emra jumade yi so after say minority leader Afenyo Markin esiu Sammy Gyamfi no abusia ensama akototwe bana esewani ensesa me ena me katro sisi me no kasei wen ena e kano kre is it Sammy Gyamfi anase Afenyo Markin ebrane krabia ena ebeche baran sisi me no kasei information bi efreche e ba quick one yebe borum na yedin komo majority in parliament Mahama Yarega His Excellency John Mahama NDC aban woma din komo woma kasa na ensemo modia tudwa ano din quick one yebe konso na fe no yedin komo NPP amanyoko no so omugusoa din komo ba quick one yebe borum na yedin komo baransa na no commander yensan ko na yensan tiemra because Afenyo Markin sem no Ghana for a digesting some no. Ghana for be say other Afenyo Markin no as a politics no all start here. Ebi mo sisi there be also Afenyo Markin esiu Sammy Gyamfi. Quick one yen senti mrani koba. Abusha information we cheaper.
Speaker, in the face of the allegations of extortion leveled against me, I have chosen to take high moral ground by submitting myself to the processes of the law. I have accordingly caused writs to be filed in suit number GT 1029/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Samuel Edu Gyamfi and Multimedia Group Limited at the Accra High Court, and suit number GR/AC/C5/02/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Eric Ejay and Peace FM at the Chimota Circuit Court. I have every confidence that in the fullness of time, the court will make the appropriate determination on these matters. Mr. Speaker, I also await with bated breath that the man or the men who made the allegation will have the courage to report the matter to the police or the OSP or any investigating agency in this country. And I expect that if they muster the courage to report that I have extorted from them and I am invited, I shall submit myself to every investigation so that eventually my name is cleared. Mr. Speaker, there is a limit to political discourse. There are lines that must not be crossed, and these red lines, once crossed, they must be dealt with. Mr. Speaker, I can modestly and humbly say that I have served in this position with integrity. I came into this office a man of hard work with determination, and I have achieved for myself what I have to do for myself, my family, and my constituents. Mr. Speaker, I work with clear conscience and with fidelity to the responsibilities entrusted to me. I say so without more.
Okay, Commander.
Yeah, Director.
Minority leader Afenyo Markin.
Okay.
After say Afenyo Markin esiu Sammy Gyamfi no.
Okay.
And some akoso sabadi ense Commander. Ade sewani ense me ena me katro Ghana fo bi tuja.
Okay.
E de ma Afenyo Markin. Ebi mususu da bi say Afenyo Markin nim say onye extortion sa. This is a timer or the betche ama Ghana fo nyina ehumba quick one. Ebi musu din komo say Afenyo Markin di agro. Said the Sammy Gyamfi besia good animation no ano ba de ba quick one yen ansem ni mu e
wo Director nkomo ne me den na de ma nkomo ne ye me den no me ye nya gidie bi se enei said the was politics ne ye no e na asha se ye no
zamu
Director say na wo say ye was obekaya wabra MPP waban mo no na asem bi esi a Afenyo Markin asemo kan say enko court enti BBC ya no dimirika no court ye G majority leader edima NDC pe eno dimirika court enti say na BBC na onte ne ho ase a eye court no so ko enye press conference but adie ba ko a meti ya minye gidie say asem ye no kure ne say the Afenyo Markin eye makoti nkomo bi say minority leader no NPP person mo gifri ne nsem amate sam nkomo ne say Dr. Mahmoud Bamia proposed to say omunye minority leader in Afenyo Markin Rata osi sedie ne niama ne kono animguase ne doso o lusu wait our parliament and already say obi anim say na oni Bawumia camp enti niama ekoso no Bawumia we a ohunu say emwa no ama edi kura pop up so wojo pon kroma na enei Bawumia pese onye next minority leader enti Afenyo Markin susu say enkomo a ekoso yi Sammy Gyamfi agunani mu ase ama amanfo otwe na bo so enti wanye bibia ampa ye be na fi ho because as minority leader na we be make allegations na CEO of Gold Board ababontin na we be discipline agu ani mu ase ama nkwada etwetwew
ene asem
uko social media ba bia ya Afenyo Markin ube hu na amanfo di AI ayede tina ya titina tade achi yesi honorable wachi gu ho edi se wantu na mo bia eyani ngwase eye disaster but ba bia asem na kwakodu no what say de medi nkaka no say na o se politics eye say we make allegations na obi ntene ho ase na ono so be make different allegations na won so nte ho ase a ba bia settle no eye court they say Afenyo Markin say Gold Board aboka ena Sammy Gyamfi so claim say the entire Afenyo Markin eni abrede asem she Gold Board no eye say Afenyo Markin the extortionist oye nipa ofa po kwan so ne krono bo kwan so ejiji sika won krofo hodi allegedly Sammy Gyamfi nkoma wodi kire say eni Afenyo Markin ekoho said the Sammy Gyamfi nkomodi nkan ba ye ya e ma Kevin Taylor koka $1 million no na eya yampa say wakwa kosiki for $1 million ena wanya but e ba say ya as honorable minority leader untimi ntenase
o se Afenyo Markin na di sei pa o
of course dina say
en senka wa insiu Sammy Gyamfi a gade no onhwe ya Afenyo Markin kan political career no kebe tonsium ena wasiu Sammy Gyamfi sa Afenyo Markin be di nkunim kura no ebia Sammy Gyamfi so evidence and me wo gidie kakra mentimi ka 100% but me wo gidie kakra say Sammy Gyamfi evidence
eta wonim enkomo ni nyina e ho na me attention wo say Afenyo Markin after this court case sign on a political career beko Sammy Gyamfi wo evidence bia na e what say utie enkomo ni mienu a ye ntimi ntina ha njaage but say ye tena ha na ye neutral na ye bia asem ni mu ye nkogina wo bia chi a wadwen be kire say Sammy Gyamfi na si bibi so in the first place Sammy Gyamfi say bibi akoso between oni Afenyo Markin ya mo amwa bonten MPP fo amoka bi no munim dia akoso na sa obehwa ono Sammy Gyamfi NPP fo bebredi ka di Gold Board ho nkomo abena se asare mo kodwo oponkro mo nyina di ho nkomo ni bi but say o ka o masema o limit o di asem ne pem but Afenyo Markin se nko abeka bi no eno de we decide say o betra sa limit no na odi asem say Afenyo Markin extortionist na all say repeat biem because onim de na gina so what him say for this question kwadwo upon kroma na din can start this whole argument deda Sammy Gyamfi friend say oni ne kwa kohia wo UTV ena kwadwo upon kroma nko ena wo soma tie Kabiru warwale MP ena wo koye na nim kogu ase enti sekeka se ye ka anka kwadwo upon kroma mom ena Sammy Gyamfi be din ka tata no but one fan ko ho bebre ya Afenyo Markin de no ko too deep no ebia na bibi wo ho ampa na masem ni say bibi wo ho say bibi ni ho what say yakoka asem iwie na at the end of the day ekoba say Sammy Gyamfi wo evidence bi or substance bi a original so na or the screenshot to be recording bi audio bi ekoto court ho na audio ni pia bonten na agibuma Afenyo Markin ne political career ewe
say eno obi ka say MPP fo no ai enam ndra o mbetwa de to John Mahama so 2016 e de power free John Mahama nsem no eno na nyame tua wo mo ka omo ankaza expose wo mo no enti we say ne da nyame asesa akoba ne sei enti Afenyo Markin de ne beso o de Sammy Gyamfi eno wa de no mo enti he de besi
nti Sammy Gyamfi wo evidence a on famra na on the other side de ama Afenyo Markin nkomo no mintimi enye gidie woni mu bebre ni se enche bia wo ene e chicha ma wontumi ko yeku Afenyo Markin as minority leader ekotena afom twen wantena konya so eyi dede hode se yenyi chama wontumi at honorable MP ya osan lawyer ni a onimra otena afom defending a criminal Erata sani pawei se ne obi se wabe demand for sika eye illegal money erata be si den e na me defend no
eni asem obi akobo kro no NPP aban mu no na Afenyo Markin edi animu defend no
ye yi get toko no Afenyo Markin aye a lot of press conferences I can't sense dua say that NPP ba power bi ma omo be sa akofa get toko no e na ba be chief justice but get toko no frigana ha Eko PM ECOWAS court e Nigeria ECOWAS nyina ye court no so ka kire ne se ekwan ya Ghana pa fa so yi ni firi ho no abani ye right wa fomra no enti won fa na sem nkopa ba bi ntra enti mi bisa se Afenyo Markin knowing very well say maami ni di fo ne yi no maami na ba betena fie as lawyer ni oda so na mabontin ka se omo ba power omo de maami ne be sa ba betena chief justice akonya no so bi rota die gidie ena obenya wo sa nipa we mu se wakwa wurawura obi aka nsum se send mi sika ne yankata samu esu a ubenya gidie defend ne se ongoy mimi nya sa gidie no and I don't think obi a oye fair anase oye neutral in this case no obekwa akogina Afenyo Markin se chibebresa minka se mi kogina Sammy Gyamfi achidabi because ono so oye nipa every single person over we say ebetima abokro no obetima deceive me nyina obi achi but per their Sammy yi kodie I feel obi political career ebe ende
Afenyo Markin is in trouble and you sue Sammy Gyamfi and what you know Mahama yarega kasa na ogina majority ne NDC anam no odi sankomo yi ogina John Mahama anam no odi sankomo yi quick one yentie ne nsem ne mra
even as they repeat the mantra that Gold Board is running losses, they are not in the same press conferences saying that as a result of the alleged loss of Gold Board, your city is now stronger than it was when NPP was in office. We are not also telling Ghanaians that as a result of the so-called losses of Gold Board, your inflation is stable. We are not telling Ghanaians that as a result of the so-called losses of Gold Board, we are paying our debts and we are being graded very highly by all the international rating agencies. So you may describe it as Gold Board losses, but we see it as an innovative national fiscal monetary policy that is stabilizing our currency, that is making our economy stronger, that is going to alleviate the poverty of many Ghanaians. And so we stand strongly behind Gold Board and the management of Gold Board. We stand strongly behind the finance minister and the management of the finances of this country. Whatever the World Bank has said, what I understand them to be saying, and the IMF, whatever they have said, I understand them to be saying that even though there will be losses based on the way we have designed the system, they expect it to be borne by the government and not by the central bank. And so reforms are underway to shift the transactions from the central bank to the government. And so I believe that ultimately your major concerns will be addressed. On the
okay, Commander.
Yeah, director.
Majority leader Mahama yarega.
Okay.
And say no sir when your appointment.
Yeah, when your appointment.
But then you say you be kanu.
Yeah.
But enkomo Mahama yarega edino. Some komona bia na na mi di o metrimu. Say Gold Board aboka. But ye hwe oman no so a Gold Board no ɛde mfaso abrɛ enti epede ahe
director
asa timamufoɔ no ɛbɔ gold board na baso ɛwɔ adwumaso a wɔma yɛ but MPP fo nko a de ɔmo sabotage enti nɛ sie gold board ni free hɔ a ɛbɛsa kɔ de na MPP ɔman na no ɔmo bu na o na dollar ne nam 17 cedis petrol buo ne nam sensen san na bɛsa kɔ
director woni bibi nkomo mama yargati yi se NPP for leaders omo parliament omo dwene man ho a anka on badwene akose de mama yarga o dwene kwen pa ewata ye nyina yakoma so ade ne se at the end of the day aban be ye akwan a ehia de amaye ewata ensuo aban be provide yen social amenities ehia no e ya aban asade se onye maye de ehwehwe no no enti sa aban ni ntimi nya na Ghana fo nwinwi na yesu at this moment say ye kai yani edi kohwe ye ti in 2022 2023 any 2024 masem nie na gold board ni ho say the MPP before this so nyine bo gold board no sa time na gold board emaye the rota NPP abreso no ye nya sika amfa anya akwan na do declare year of rose ya dia so ko bo fo mokumase swami interchange the rota omo kono ni aye less than 5% initially Kwame Egoza ko ho no road contractor no confirm say yaye about 2 to 3%.
Oh yeah.
Year of rose Accra Kumasi highway. What ebesi ne eda ho. The same year of rose akwan bebra na do ne second went me anye. What a sad time no na MPP for go do yetu no eno na yetu ye nya sika nya project fe no to nchen sad time ye ka ye de wa mono ne. Keno foreta bo bosia kodu stage a na amanfo susu a omo ye nyina no se MPP fo nya ya na nkombe kwa afiefiem akogigi susu ni bi se na awotwe omo susu no tam so a na omo abase o finance minister si mususu de kamfa mo oman ne bosia na awotwe se nne ye betua omo bo bosia ma eduru ba bi no ewata won kasa wo ya we se ekoduru stage a na foreign market no omo block ye eurobond na ye ntimi njilo no hobiem even domestic bond no ye out of market because na ye default ye loans ni ntimi ntua eno na ma ye se ko sign ko IMF part 2 biem enti na na do nkokufu ado se wo hwe ya ada ofra konya so no ono aboyima no ama kofi bo adi nkomo bo se na na do nkwa ne mampani a eda otna konya so na IMF edisika epushi oman no IMF pushi na kosi eda ofra konya so ebinsi da ewata de kachira wunyina ne se na oman ni sika sama sei ya bobosia ye ntimi nya hwe NPP before say omo ye okay say oman ni bobosia ye ntimi ntua na ye free market nim say ye ntimi nya bosia biem na ye nya sika nya ye kwan ye nya sika nya projects na emom ye nam bosia so omo pe no na God board any hobiem na Sammy Gyamfi din akwakoda din omo ye very okay with that na me bisa say ehefa ena Ghana fo gina ka kire MPP fo say ya anya ya kwan na God board any ho na fei MPP said na omo ne etedada no eyesa ye ni jehoda be ne ka sa kire omo yen over 34 million Ghanaians ye to abama NDC ba pawai what ye nyansa mu no ye susu say ya abaya said say on develop your mind maye enti se ne God board beboka 100 billion Ghana cedis na ye ka ye de wa brochire ye ka no so bete na ye nkobo bosia amfa ma me ye project biem na still projects ahodo ne ongoing na ye pe
eni asem no
e ka dodo MPP boy ye da bia asem mi nyai ka NPP ba bai mu no na Ghana ye ka nyina 122 billion Ghana cedis NPP fra bai mu na ye kana ko over 665 billion Ghana cedis na me pese me bisa say erata sai sika bebrebe no de na omde ye eni se gold board aba na ya boka 22 billion na eka mumuja ho no aban na tua sa aka no ye nya sika ye adwuma na wo se wo mpe we ye ngu gold board na muntimi smogu gold mfa kwa bruchire na munkoye sika hu botom lalai enya adwuma se mu betima smogu gold edi akwa monane na wagisika de gu botom private person we very okay but ankoba saade a ene yensa yade no waka nkomo a ye di bebrebe me kan bia me kowie se a selfishness any greed NPP before ni be a greedy to the standard or my dream almost say Ghana kro ne bo na omo sika wo ma council ya omo mani omo na mo ba bedi a omo ye very okay with that.
Commander meba som kakra ne ntie
okay.
Na we say no maami ni ese olusuye e wo ne mpasua so.
Okay.
Na odi nsem bia to your MPP ni o na de ntie nkoma odi ni wa oba be wie no asem o kan twa to no ano odi dodo ntie mre be ho adwuma.
Honorable Kojo Oponkuma first went, stepped into the fray with this conversation when the IMF talked about the $240 million loss in relation to Gold Board, right?
Yeah.
What didn't we hear the same CEO of Gold Board say about him? He's not an accountant. Rubbished him, his experience, his pedigree, even the time he spent in Parliament and the experience he's gathered. Take that fact away from Kojo that he's an established individual who has experience, even in finance, in economy. He speaks intelligently to it. He rubbished him and said he didn't know what he was saying. Former Deputy Minister of Finance, Abena Osei-Asare, Honorable, also raised questions. They dealt with her the same way. She's incompetent, she's reckless, she's useless, she's silly. They use all sorts of invectives on her. Now, the hilt of it is what Honorable Afenyo Markin is going through. Complete character assassination. What am I saying? It's establish a pattern. Anybody who questions Gold Board or BOG, so long as Gold Board is in the conversation, you are going to face personal attacks and insults. But those personal attacks and insults should not distract us. At the very least, the same CEO of Gold Board told us that Dr. Bawumia owned Haptel, and that if any Ghanaian that buys electricity, who loads the unit on their meter, has inherently put money on into the bank account of Dr. Bawumia, which is running his campaign. He said that. A lie. This same gentleman was sued by Honorable Dr. Matthew Puku-Prempeh, wasn't he? And for which he won. He went to the appeals court, did he not? In fact, when he went to the appeals court, he didn't proceed till his government came to power, and for which that defamation has been squashed, has it not? So if a liar tells you to go to court, then it means that he knows the judge. That is what he's essentially saying. Sammy Gyamfi is a known liar. From talking about, who owns Haptel, from even creating scenarios out of thin air about people that he even still sees and greets and shakes. Even defamation on your colleague journalist, Kwame Sefakai. And today he's talking about the impugning his integrity. He's talking about it's not fair to level accusations again. When did he realize this? At the very least, even his posture in responding to the issues where Ghanaians are concerned. Why are these losses coming? You said you've given us a benefit of $10.8 billion, but there's a loss of $1.7 billion. Why can't we talk about it? Why are you so agitated when that conversation comes? And instead of submitting yourself to Parliament for an inquiry, you take to media houses and radio stations with your PR machinery behind you. And all they amplify is the insults and attacks on the people who are raising meaningful questions.
Dabi, Commander, Yemfensia. Yemfensia. And we can say, Yenya Beka. Yebehu akokunu dompe ana ebu bene say
es happen
unim sabeno
Yenya
beta akokunu yebehu dompe wo nimu
of course
because enkomo awodie as abanshe da nimsa the president na Sammy Gyamfi instead of so obeko parliament no akwa cheche mu no Sammy Gyamfi na de o mo say mo frɛ no parliament no na no ho beba o mo frɛ no enso mo ntimi
unim enkrofobia ho a makasa politics no minim kwan e fa so a enkrofo bi du suru ho mentiase ebesi ne me dwene ho a mentiase ma me yoka ho die na de ne koduru suru ho se Bawumia we ni kim ko ye minister na deputy minister but hwese de o sitie nkoma wo
na ya na ma manfo ka se sebi ma mu gobu oba bi o duru suru aye we fa to beji but we die me nyesa
right me say eye o ma oni mo nti no duru suru nkɔmɔ a wɔdi die na de ne beduru soro
ba we de wan
dabi tie
me ni evidence me ni hwe se wakoye
me de me nka sɛ obi akoye ne bibi but me say eye nima woni ma manfo no wɔduru soro
we na di nima wonim school a wakɔ ade a wasua ene de na ba beduru sei
wasua de no say instead of say Sammy Gyamfi be submit ne ho akɔ parliament na ye bisa ne nsɛm no wayi ano no ɔkɔyɛ press conference sɛ wasua de nimade a and Canadian nimne na adwen be ka kyerɛ ne sɛ parliament wo na be invite Sammy Gyamfi minority na be twama speaker na sɛ majority fo ne sɛ o hia gold board CEO no ma bisa ne nsɛm Sammy Gyamfi say even public accounts committee a honorable Abna Osiasare ete so no o hia na ade echi ya o mfrɛ no obeba
na baby na so odi nko bi sɛ Sammy Gyamfi so wanyamfa so 10.8 billion. Now then a caba 1.7 billion. Now mo kra mo fere.
Na the better win. Dia mo wan
di. Obi ama 10.8 billion. Now the amfa ne se wa boka 1.7 billion. Obi agebosia 1.7 billion. Oje bosia 1.7 billion no. All ba no na 10.8 ele kura no de ba. O se adenti no obeje sa abosia no kwaje ye.
Na me bisa se why now be money sika say onkoye adwuma na e ka obo ye nyina ye 1.7 billion dollars na owie ye no one more resource emphasis 10.8 billion dollars now that so complaining omo mu ye dede we what omo mu dodo say eni ye be for adwuma ye adwuma no omo bebo eka adwuma ni mu ka no 1.7 billion na odin fa so 10.8 billion baba on kwotena bontin fanturu ho ko bego ko ye CV foforo na odi CV na hyase an nama bontin ewura big companies mu say me ni the new CEO in town me na metimeje 1.7 billion enyam fa so 10.8 eti mo mama adwuma but nei ankwa ma wo mu say ye kenoforiata abreso miracles abuajibi enaka owo gold board ena asemo say achievement Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia omo say owo ideas kene Japan kan yo kene Japan say onu kene dikura onsua economy no onsua economy say but onim say mi wo mi gold o say mi mfa gold no nkosi middleman so agent so na agent ni gold no na on percentage na on fa nkoma Arab ni na onye oil na on percentage na on fa oil na mrem
eni asem no
wa abra metima Tommy gold agisika na me po yela matibia koto the brother enum po MPP for see ba omia bin or rich ideas but nei o mu blame gold board sha say o ton gold nyamfa so no ye ka say NDC abani Sammy Gyamfi bom homode MPP for see gold board ye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia idea enye sa no mkaye endi saudi idea ba na wa idea ne de eka ba ade ne no de wo pre hu.
Now, also Sammy Gyamfi say Afenyo court. The Sammy Gyamfi nim judge. Allegations we are say me.
The right winning. They say Sammy Gyamfi nim judge. Say Sammy Gyamfi nim judge. They nim say Sammy Gyamfi say Afenyo Markin a extortionist. On cash you. The right enti wona wonte ho ase a na wa court. Sammy Gyamfi dey on somehow. Eya ade ono na adwem no ene ni information kita no osusu se otie ne de woye ene wodi hu nkomo akere ye endi se obekọ court se wonko court emfa se Sammy Gyamfi ni mobi e wo court ho se onim judge we don't care ye ko sa era ne sa situation nim enempo de NPP before opportunity say all ma semba na ye de court na ye di a NPP before timi court ho say o mu di injunction say to asem no so o mu siki for bill e de ma chama untumi a ye di na asem awie jeli me na menye ntibi dawo say ye di obi asem awie ya jeli no what file for appeal NPP before lawyers and ne court timi ma mo kwan e ma mo sa ko file for bill say nipa ya jeli no ye nsa ma ni bill Retana minyan tibida. All this, Obasamo Katre say, winning judges. They all kakwasi nyina say, NPP wa by muno. They new judges. Oh yeah. Kevin Taylor this uncommanded bia. I don't want to rely on a man for information so moka. But said they okay. Yeah, they are not to hold ya. Nature say no cra na NPP for nim judges. No minimra. Because the last time I heard one lawyer bin anapoku no so this same command be say NPP lawyers almost system no omunim judges but omunim mra the what they all can obi ansoma obi say NPP for susu say Sammy Gyamfi nim lawyer no anasa onim judges no enkasam ne nko ba bia they should shut up omuntwa asem no so enye din na obi antre ne ba bi brebra ma amane ama Sammy Gyamfi ani nkan kwa press conference minority for the conference and trefo and Sammy Gyamfi responded here there obi say oye one ye be one oye two ye be two you talk no so akasa back ya until hwase ade na until hwase emfa san community
yɛmfa nsi dia yɛnkɔ but yɛsɛ bɛsisi ɛ yakra yɛfo